Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Leading You. I hope that you are having a beautiful start to your January. January is often a time where people, talk about resolutions, but the fact is that by now, we're 3 weeks in now, most of them are already gone. So, did you know that 80% of resolutions are pretty much done within a month? And that can often be because, it's made on a whim or made on an impulse. But of course, you don't make resolutions, you create goals. And goals are not the things that shape your year, they're the outcome, right? So I believe that routines shape your year and can set you up to be the best version of you that you can be so that you can achieve your goals. Now, when I talk about routines, and this is something that I'm really excited to chat to you today because I believe that this is incredibly powerful. And when I talk about routines, I'm talking about the first hour of your day. That first hour decides how you show up for the rest of the day. It sets your energy, it sets your focus, your emotional state, and also influences your leadership. All of that, your mindset, your behaviors totally influence your leadership. You can choose to start the day in control, sticking to your routine, what you plan to do, or you can hand your mindset, your mood, your control over to others, the rest of the world, perhaps. So, I have a question for you. What is the first thing that you do in the morning? One of the most common things that people do in the morning when they wake up is they reach for their phone, they open it, and they see what has happened in the world. That might be scrolling in social media, might be looking at the news, and it could be looking at emails. And when you do that, you have basically handed the control of your day over to whatever you're looking at on your phone. Because your mood, your choices, your actions are going to be influenced by what you read on that phone. And that's what we're wanting to try and avoid in that first hour. So I'm really super passionate about this, and there's really good research to support it, which I'm going to share about in a minute. I want to share a really quick retrospective experiment that happened to me in regards to my routine. So it was a couple of months ago now, and I was feeling really scattered. I was feeling out of control. I was snappy with people, with, those that I loved. And I just felt really off. And I was thinking, I don't know what was going on. I'd been traveling that week. I had morning meetings, I had events in the evenings. So there was a lot going on. And later that week, because this happened over spanning a week, I thought, I know why I have been so off. It is because I am completely out of my routine. I am a really diligent morning routine person. So I always start the day with the same routine. I get up, I don't get up. I wake up, I meditate, then I exercise, and then I will come back, coffee and breakfast, and then I'll look at phone. And this happens every single day. And throughout that week, I hadn't been sticking to that. I'd been waking up, looking at my phone, what's the time, what's going on, is the event still on, blah, 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 handing my mood, mindset, and control over basically to my phone. So once I realized that, I'm pretty sure that was on the Friday afternoon, I spent the Saturday getting back in control. like clearing my space, even shopping, was out of everything. All of those simple things that I needed to do, including planning my week and deciding on how I wanted to show up. I got on top of that on the Saturday. I cannot tell you how much of a difference that made to me. I felt like a completely different person. I felt in control again. I felt like I was on top of the world. I just felt totally reconnected to who I was and what I stood for and how I want to be as a leader and in terms of how I show up every day. So I wanted this episode to be released now because it is a bit quieter and we can pause and think about a routine that is going to serve us. Now, you might be a fabulous morning routine person as well. And if you are, I applaud you, and you will know how well it thinks, how well it serves you. You might want to reflect if that's going to work for you next year, depending on what's going on. But if you're not a morning routine person, this is a really great time for you to build the habit, and it's easier for you to stick to it right now. And therefore, when life gets busier again, you've got your routine in play. So one thing I do want to preface about the routine is it needs to be achievable. There is no point setting up a routine that is unachievable. Like for me, setting a routine to get up at 5 a.m., totally unachievable. I am not that person. I know that. So I'm setting myself up to fail. You want to set yourself up to achieve your routine. So I wanted to share a couple of statistics with you really quickly. So profiles of successful women. So people that you know as Oprah, Michelle Obama, show that many protect their early morning time for reflection, movement, and planning, and credit that time as a key to their performance. Neuroscience-backed articles show that a calm, predictable morning regulates stress hormones like cortisol, which keeps your brain out of all-day alarm mode and supports clearer thinking. And research summaries on women leaders' daily habits suggest that a large majority of them do some combination of exercise, quiet time, and intentional planning in the morning. And there's even a whole movement around the miracle morning routine, which is led by author Hal Elrod. And he built this around using that first hour to use in silence for your mindset, for movement and reflection. And so that's something that you can research and understand, and it will certainly help you. It certainly helped me when I was diagnosed with cancer to get in a new routine because exercise could not be part of my routine. So it's really great to understand that you can adapt your morning routine for what is going on in your life at any moment. So why does this matter? A solid morning routine moves you from reactive to intentional, powerful. It reduces decision fatigue. So your mental energy goes straight to strategy, people, and not thinking about what do I need to do first? What do I need to do today? You are focused. For women in leadership especially, mornings, or women in general, mornings might be the only time that you are not holding space for other people, that you're not tending to other people's needs. And protecting that time improves your focus, your emotional regulation, and ultimately how you show up every single day. This is not about the 5 a.m. club. It's about starting your day in a way that will support you and your life and ultimately how you want to show up in the world. So here are 5 simple tips a leader-friendly routine, if you like. Number 1, choose a realistic wake-up time that you can keep even on messy days. So as I say, I'm not going to choose 5 a.m. Aim for 30 to 60 minute window that you can mostly keep even on those messy days. So that's number 1. Number 2, don't hand your brain over to the world in that first 30 minutes. No emails, no socials. Give your brain the space to wake up before you invite the world in, because this can, really cut into what you're wanting to do, especially if you're wanting to exercise or if you're wanting to meditate. If you look at that phone first, it will dictate what you do rather than you doing it. Number 3, one mind, one body, one plan action, I think is really achievable. So for your mind, 5 minutes of silence, breathing, journaling, meditation, right? So something grounding. And, even if you extended that to 10 minutes of meditation, that can benefit you significantly. It can keep you so much calmer. But just 5 minutes, brilliant. Just be. It's so beautiful. For your body, light movement. After you've done that, for your mind, whatever you choose to do, whether it's just breathing, just being, meditating, move your body a little bit. You might get up, you might do yoga, you might get outside and go for a walk. Getting out and seeing sunlight first thing is really good for your circadian rhythm. It's really great for your mood to get, all of those hormones working for you. And then plan. Write down what you want to do for the day. You might think about that on your walk, and then come in and write it down. What are your top 3 priorities for the day? Get it out of your head and onto paper, and you are off. That is so easy. Number 4, make it repeatable. Make this something that you can do every single day, weekends included. That 3 minutes breathing, 3 minutes exercise, 3 minutes plan. It's a habit that survives in real life, and it's really something that you can remember. So you're going to get up, you're going to do something for your mind, your body, and then the plan for the day. So empowering. And number 5, prepare for tomorrow morning the night before so that you can get up and get straight into your routine. So you might put your clothes out the day before, you might clean up your workspace, you might clean up the house, the first thing that you see in the morning, whether it's your bathroom, your kitchen potentially, clean that up. If you're going to do yoga, have a beautiful space prepared for that already. This reduces friction and any excuses that you might come up with at 6 a.m. or 6:30. And this is not about being perfect, right? This is not your perfect Instagram routine. It's about a minimum viable morning habit that supports you as a leader. That's really, really important. So how do you stick to this? And let's be honest, life happens, the best laid plans can blow up. And I think this is something that you need to expect, right? So one morning you might not be able to do that routine. There might be a sick child. You might have to catch a really early flight. And there are busy seasons that sometimes, you might need to let the routine go. I don't encourage that. Through busy seasons, I really encourage you to try and, even adapt it to make it work for you during those times. It's really, really important that you actually do them. But the goal is never about not missing it. It's noticing quickly when you start feeling scattered, when you start feeling out of control. Like when I noticed in myself that I was not right And I realized, my God, I'm just so out of my routine, and I could get back into it really quickly because it's something that's really ingrained for me. That is the power of having a really ingrained routine. And anchor it to your identity. It's like, instead of like, I'm doing a routine, it's like, I'm the kind of leader who starts the day with intention. I'm the kind of leader who starts the day on purpose. Not perfect, not polished, but intentional. And that identity shift can make it easier to come back to once you've fallen off. It becomes ingrained in who you are, because it's certainly part of who I actually am. And the third thing is track the feeling, not the perfection. We can get really caught up in being perfect. So for a couple of weeks, just really take note of, when you do the routine, how does that make you feel? And anchor yourself in that feeling, like you want more of it, and celebrate the fact that you did it. Like, be proud of yourself. Day 1, tick. Day 2, tick. Really, get that momentum happening. So the question that I'm going to leave you with is, who do you want to be when your day begins? Who do you want to be when your day begins? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Leading You. And I really hope that this episode has empowered you and inspired you to create a really great morning routine that is going to serve you well for the rest of the year. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to being in your ears really soon.